So Rudy Gobert got cooked last night. He got baked. He got bamboozled. And the conversation on the timeline this morning has been, is Rudy Gobert a fraud, DPOY? Draymond Green has had some things to say as well about Rudy Gobert. I think he was on TNT last night. And this clip from JJ Redick just came out. RJ and JJ fired back at people blaming Rudy Gobert for Jokic's performance. Before they get going, I do think a lot of the hate is Rudy Gobert is one of the players that y'all don't like. Okay? Rudy Gobert is one of those players that is easy to hate for y'all. And it's not just fans. I've seen the player polls. Players do not like Rudy Gobert, y'all. They just do not. And performances like a lot of people believe that Rudy Gobert does not deserve a lot of those DPOYs. For a guy who has all these DPOYs, he's such an overrated defender. My only thing is, if you're about to use Jokić, cooking him as an example for as to why he's a fraud DPOY, then best of luck to you, because Jokić cooks everyone. I can't lie. He literally just had a playoff run going through Gobert, going through Anthony Davis, and going through Bam Adebayo in the same playoff run. 3 of the arguably top 4 defenders in the league, and 3 of the dudes that you would probably say, if I had to put a defender on Jokić, I would have that defender on Jokić. And he cooked all 3 of them last season. This playoff run, he's already on pace to cook 2 of them. In Gobert, he already cooked AD. Maybe not as much as Gobert, but I feel like that conversation's a mid-off at that point. He's already cooked AD. He's cooking Gobert. At that point, what the fuck do you want? Never. Let the clip play out.
Talk about control and command of a game. RJ, I think we almost always, at least I feel this way, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you may have somebody in mind, but I feel like control and command, we think of perimeter players, we think of primary ball handlers, we think of the Chris Paul, we think of the LeBron, the Luka, James Harden, Jalen, Tyrese Halliburton at times, of course. Like, that's who we think of. And I feel like I was watching last night and I'm like, no, Jokić, like, he's the big that has complete control and command of the game, and it feels like it's like at all times. And last night was a perfect example of that. The guy goes for 40 points, double-digit assists, 0 turnovers. Just whether it's passing, scoring, he downloads whatever you're trying to do, and a lot of times he figures it out in real times, but you give him, 2-3 games to figure you out. Good luck.
And he's so much meaner than people give him credit for. He's so much meaner. Oh, you want to do this? Fine. I'll go score. Like he's so much meaner than people, and not in a disrespectful way, but in a way of like he's like psychotically trying to figure out how he's going to dominate, because he'll beat you with the pass, he'll beat you with the 3. Oh, you want me to just post up and go solo one-on-one? Because a lot of times that's what teams, he knows. You talk about great players figuring out, okay, well, we're going to stay at home. We're going to let him play a little one-on-one against Nas, against Rudy. We're going to limit our 2, stay down, don't put him on the free throw line. Well, he will go to work. If you told him just to be a post player and not like a post scorer and not a passer, he would still get you the same amount of points.
I think Jokić is proving Lowe's video a couple weeks ago that, bro, when we talk about the greatest offensive weapons of all time, Jokić is in that conversation. And I think well in that conversation now. The sample size is big enough. He rises in the playoffs. He does it against all-time great defenses. He's doing it right now against all-time great defense. Jokić is a one-on-one offensively, dog. Like, he's one of those dudes. The question of the day, let me know in the comment section. How would you guard Jokić? How would you guard Jokić? Because he has so many counters. His game is so versatile to the point where I don't know how you guard Jokić. You guard him one-on-one, boy, okay. 7-footer with a big body, crazy touch around the rim, has a post fade, can go over left, go over right, has a post hook, can take you off the dribble. Okay. You double team him, one of the top 10, top 5 passers of all time. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you even do? And my go-to would be to wear him down to the point where he gets tired as fuck. And hope you just kind of hope that by the end of games he's tired out. He's too tired to keep going. But I don't even think that's a problem for Jokic anymore, dog. Like, Jokic has been really good in the fourth quarter. It does look like he's fucking hobbling out there and, you know, just fucking walking out there like a penguin. But nah, Jokic is proving time in and time out he can play a lot of minutes and also be effective down the stretch. So how do you guard Jokic, y'all? Let me know.
But his ability to distribute and get other people involved in playing these games, these no looks that he's dropping off to dunks, he's faking the lob, throwing it out to wide open threes. You've played with Chris Paul. I play with Jason Kidd and LeBron. There are certain guys that just know how to manipulate the game to get everyone's shots. But he is special, in my opinion, just because the position in which he does it, there's always more freedom. Chris Paul's under pressure. There's guards under pressure. His pressure is kind of like you don't want to apply too much. You don't want to apply too little. You're constantly doing a dance. And once you start dancing with him, he owns you.
And also going back to that one-on-one defender conversation I was having earlier, like what type of defender would you even put on him? Because if you put a slow-footed big, again, he can take you out the paint. And honestly, just run everything behind the big. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jokic is potent enough in the perimeter that if you take Gobert out the paint, you know what I'm saying? You can run backdoor action, and hella motherfuckers are going to be open at the rim. Now you don't got a backline defender out there because Jokic brought out that dude. If you put a smaller defender on him, that's quicker footed, Jokic is too big. Who do you put on him, dog? Because I've seen him. I've seen AD guard him. I've seen Gobert guard him. I've seen Bam guard him. I've seen even in this last game there was running Naz Reid or Cat on him, but having Gobert as the help side defender so they don't lose that aspect of their defense. Like, bro. And the pick and roll with Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's a good passer himself. He got a mid-range game. He got a step-back three. He can pull up from three. Jokic is a good roller. He can pick it. Like, how do you stop the Jamal Murray pick and roll? How do you stop the Jamal Murray Jokic give and go, dog? Like, bro, that dude is just crazy. I can't lie.
Make a couple points on Rudy Gobert. Because I'm not going to do the full
that boy lagging,
discourse
chat.
and explanation right now, because no matter how many times I've fucking done it over the last 3 or 4 years, people want to point to these singular like games where it's like, oh, that's your defensive player of the year. I'm like, okay, yeah. So Jokic last night, he was 8 for 9 with Gobert as the primary defender. Going into that game last night, he was 11 for 28 with Gobert as the primary defender, including 4 for 13 in game 4. Jokic is, I think we can all agree, if he's not the best player in the world, he's certainly one of the 2 or 3 best players in the world. I'm not going to rank players right now. I think Jokic is the best player in the world, and I've said that consistently for the last year. All right. He's the best player in the world. He's going to can score against anybody. Also, did you see the moves and the shots he was making at times? Like, at some point, by the way, Rudy Gobert's like 7'3". At some point, you're like, oh, no, like maybe just it's the offensive player is that good. And the whole point about him getting played off the floor, look, again, I said this after game 2 when we started talking about the weekend games last week on the Old Man on 3. Like, Denver had to figure out a way to get.
Also, I will say this, bro. Draymond Green going at Rudy Gobert specifically is so corny to me. Just because Draymond Green was a DPOY primarily off of his help defense. Like, I need to bring up that tweet right now, or that quote from Draymond Green. Because what Draymond Green was saying today, Yeah, that old quote about it's you, my man, that's getting cooked by Jokic. Two things can be true. Gobert is getting cooked by Jokic, but again, it's like, yo, Draymond, like, if that's why he shouldn't be DPOY, what were you doing against Jokic? Like, I don't know, dude. This is weird.
Gobert away from the basket. That's the challenge against the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was the challenge against the Utah Jazz. It's not an indictment on Rudy Gobert. It's fucking basketball. Sorry, I cussed again. Dang it. I'm sorry, DraftKings. You have a guy, like, think about this. You have it. Name a skill set. Name a skill set. This guy is elite at doing this. He's the best in the world at doing this. Let's try to take that away. Right?
Yeah.
That's called basketball. That is basketball strategy 101. Like, come on.
Well, and I don't understand. Oh, that's your defensive player of the year. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You line all 5 of them up. The top 5 candidates, Jokic would do the exact same thing to every single one of them. And he has multiple times over.
They tried to do that with like Steph Curry cooking Gobert. Like, oh, Gobert can't guard Curry in space. Who the fuck can guard Curry in space? What are we, what are we doing right now, dog?
You know, we talk about that old Lakers team that won it in 2020 was the last time, in my opinion, that the Denver Nuggets were healthy. They had so many bigs, and they had LeBron, which people don't really count him, but at 6'9", 200 and whatever, he's another body on top of all the ones they had when they won the championship and they beat Denver in the conference finals. There is no stopping Jokic. There is no. That's why you don't get an MVP, because there's a game plan to stop you. You get MVP, and when you win 3 out of 4, that's because there is no game plan to stop you. We don't get to just talk trash.
I will say, man, as a Celtics fan, biasly, I'm sad the Minnesota Timberwolves couldn't beat the Nuggets, man. And y'all gonna take this as disrespect to the Timberwolves, but man, I am so much more confident going into the finals against Dallas, OKC, and Minnesota versus Denver. Because I will say this, when we talk about matchups, the Celtics have not addressed Jokic, man. The Celtics have not addressed the Jokic problem. Porzingis is about to get cooked. What is Al Horford about to do? JT can't guard that motherfucker, man. God.
About Rudy because he's had some prior, struggles in the post. I think Rudy has been outstanding. I think he's been again last night, 7 for 7, 11 rebounds. Again, guys banged up, no Conley. So when I look at Rudy Gobert, I think he has done enough. Collectively as a group. These last 3 games have been unique. But Rudy Gobert, we're not blaming Rudy for this. He's just going against the best offensive center in the league when you include scoring and playmaking. Shout out Joe.
Another case to just close this video off. Another case of if you don't like someone, just say that. Y'all wanna try to be objective. Y'all wanna objectively find the angle to hate on someone so that it doesn't look like you hating on someone. I can't lie. If you don't like a motherfucker, just say that. You know what I'm saying? Don't use these bad faith arguments to discredit this. If you don't like the dude, just say that. And a lot of NBA players, a lot of basketball fans just do not like Rudy Gobert. Can they actually put a reason to it? Not really. Like a sound one? Not really. But that's just the nature of the game that we live in. Motherfuckers care way too much about narratives and all that things. But nevertheless, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Is Rudy Gobert a fraud? Is he not? But with that being said, catch y'all later. Peace.